following episode contains language and descriptions of violence and self-harm. It may not be appropriate for all listeners, but it was my life. Discretion is advised. All right, welcome back to another episode of Roll Call with Chappy. This is going to be fire. I got my buddy Carlos Reyes here. I actually followed each other. We've known each other for a little while. I actually did his show, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
A few weeks ago, yeah.
Supposed to be an hour. We'd talk for 2 hours straight. Yeah. Had to switch SIM cards in the middle. Yeah. I had to cut it off because I had my wife and baby waiting on me. I was supposed to be home like literally an hour before, but no joke, could have went for 4 hours. Yeah. So I'm super excited. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm excited to see this shit go today.
Thank you, brother.
That was all about my story, kind of. So now I'm really excited to hear your story, bro.
Absolutely.
You're straight from Mexico and built a fucking... some I don't even know what to say. A legacy of full-on huge business, really successful, good family guy, which is what I'm all about. So I just want to break it in and so let's get into first. Actually, introduce yourself and tell them how to find you and everything.
Yeah, brother, Carlos Reyes at Carlos Reyes on Instagram, what's funny is I made I guess I made a name for myself by speaking on stages. It had very little to do with social media. Like, I started speaking on stages back on my April of 2017. And
how'd you get on the stages?
So I was just crushing it in real estate.
Okay.
And then people started, hey, can you come speak at this event, this event, this event? So I started speaking on stages in 2017. And then people started to hear my story. It's like where I come from and what it's taken to build, what I have built. I'm not going to say because I have a business partner who I love and respect. We've been business partners for over 12 years now. So, people are just blown away when they see what we've built over the years. You know what I mean?
And it's 100 times harder coming for where you come from or where I come from. So it'd be so easy for the next person to do it.
That's how I feel, bro. Like if you are born in this country, and let's just say you're born in just dirt poverty here, right? Yeah. Which is a lot of people are. A lot of us are. More than likely you were, right? Mm-hmm. That's okay. If you have a social security number, right, that you're born with, that's enough for you to actually at some point, try to make something of yourself, right?
For sure.
Some of us, we start, south, like below, like if the poverty line is here and, if you're born into poverty in America, well, people like me that are born into poverty in Mexico, we got to start down here. So it takes us a long time to just get to the baseline of poverty in America.
Ground zero, yeah.
Exactly, right? And that consists of a lot of different things. That consists of...
I always use that analogy myself too, Like
for
I
sure.
Scrap and claw just to get to ground zero.
Just to make it to neutrality, right? So in my case, it's like my mom had to leave my brother and I with our grandparents for a couple years while she came over to this country in the late 80s. And
sorry, back this up a little bit. So people don't know, like you're straight from Mexico?
I'm born in Hermosillo, Sonora, and I was raised in Guaymas, Sonora. And, I...
Can you tell us a little bit, because I'm curious too, like how was it growing up in Mexico?
Bro, I'll simplify it for you. It's, you don't even know you're poor.
It's not to cut you off. I was just going to say, let me guess. I'm going to tell you, it's not bad because you only know what you know.
You don't, you like when you're living in Mexico, poor people live in the mountains and rich people live in the city.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We live in the outskirts. Here in America, rich people live in the mountains and poor people live in the inner city, right? So it's actually reverse. Here's why that is. Well, growing up in Mexico in the 80s and 90s, you live up in poverty in the mountains. There is no running water. Where in most places, where I live, for sure, no running water. No running water. I'll tell you how we used to get our water, right? So you got no running water, you got no electricity, right? I mean, most of the kids in the neighborhood barely even have shoes. You know what I mean? In most cases, you have to go, you live day to day. Like you have to figure out how you're gonna eat that day, That's poverty in Mexico.
Were your parents working, or is there not even work out there? Or just like side jobs?
So my mom at some point, was working cleaning hotel resorts in San Carlos, Sonora, which is about 20 to 25 minutes away from Guaymas, where we were being raised. But that's not even. I mean, bro, she was making. It's like $12 a week at that point.
And did she have a car or anything to go to work?
No.
How would she get to work?
The bus, like multiple buses with no air conditioning. It's like a little string. Like, you know how here you can press a button to say, hey, I'm stopping at the next stop. Nah, bro, right here, there's not even bus stops, right? You know what I mean? It's like you press this little string and you go, Bajan. Like you yell so the bus driver can hear you. You know what I mean?
No way.
Yeah, bro. Like any Mexican that's listening to me right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So anyway, imagine, bro, your mom's making like $12 a week, and it's like your grandparents are old. They're at this point, they're like in their 60s and 70s. So it's like you got your grandparent, you got your tata.
Are you guys all living together? Or?
All together. This, praise God, my grandfather, with his own bare hands, built this house. And,
how big was it?
Oh, bro, it's probably like less than 400 square feet.
I was gonna say 1,000.
No. Watch this. I actually sometimes post pictures of it. When I'm telling my story, or there's a picture that I always post where I'm sitting down on the couch. It's me, my brother, and my two grandparents. That's the house that my grandfather built, and you can see the house. Like how here you got like, you got, what is this? You got that's crazy because I'm a construction guy. You have brick, you have drywall. Yeah. See, there's brick, there's drywall, right? Over there, it's plywood. Like you got plywood and you got laminate roofing. You know what I mean? That's what you got. And you don't even have a bathroom inside of it. And you don't have a kitchen inside of it. So it's dirt roads and dirt floors.
You're joking, bro.
Yeah. I'll show you pictures. I got the pictures in my phone. You know what I mean? And I post them up on Instagram very consistently to show people where I come from, right?
Yeah.
So watch this. It's like my grandfather built this little, 400 square foot shack, and it's just dirt floor, and it's literally that 400 square feet, rectangle. You have one bed on the other side where my grandparents sleep, and then you got two beds on this other side. One bed my mom sleeps in. There's like these two twin beds, and then me and my brother sleep together in the other bed. Like that was our childhood for a very long time. Now, if you want to cook, right? There's an area right outside.
Or something?
There's an area right outside the house, and you got to cook with fire because there's no electricity. If you need light in the evening time, you got to put up this butane lamps. They're like gas lamps that you got to burn throughout the house. It's like a butane, and the flame burns inside of a glass. So you got those throughout the house. If you want water, you got to wait for it's called la pipa. It's like a big truck carrying a huge container that comes up once or twice a week and he's literally agua, ¿quién necesita agua? He's literally announcing who needs water. Then you got to buy the water from him. So you take it from his big old container, and then you fill up your 5-gallon containers so that you can wash dishes, you can bathe. You know what I mean? So it's like
freaking way.
It's in my, I don't know why, bro, but I wouldn't say Mexico to its entirety isn't what is it called? A third world country. But I mean, I lived in a third world neighborhood, for sure. I mean, if you think about what I just described, like that's happening in Africa, that's happening in the Middle East, where, kids are running around in dirt roads and, dirt floors without shoes.
I looked at those videos on TikTok, and now it's all my TikTok feed is like these crazy villages in Africa with like, nothing. I've been just like so fascinated.
Exactly.
With that stuff.
So my mom identified.
So how do you get out of that?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you, right? So my mom identified that, this wasn't going to be a bright future for us. So she had a very hard conversation with my grandparents, and these were my father's parents.
Was your dad around?
No. So my mom left him because he was abusive. So when we lived in Hermosillo, which is the capital, right? My father was at that time, man, he was, heavy into drinking, heavy into coke, and he would come home and like spaz out. Like, where is he? I know you're cheating on me with him. Looks under the bed, beats the shit out of my mom. You know what I mean? Throws me against the wall. Whatever he got going on, to the point where my mom's like, I just, after a couple years of that, she's like, I'm done. I'm leaving this man. So we went 2 hours south of the capital, and that's where Guaymas is located, and that's where the grandparents were, which were my father's parents. So we were raised by my father's parents, early childhood.
Yeah.
And then now my mom has to have this conversation with my grandparents and say, hey, this is not a life for my kids. I'm going to go and try to make it on the other side. So most Mexicans call it el otro lado, which means the other side of the line.
Okay.
Which is the border.
Yeah, gotcha, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're like, so she asks my nana and my tata, and she's like, I think I was around like 5 at this point, and she's like, hey, can you guys watch them for me while I go and try to figure this out for them? And then my grandma's like,
when she means figured out, she means try to sneak to America?
Well, she needs to.
Or what's she trying to do?
Well, so thankfully she came in through a passport.
Okay.
But she couldn't be here for too long.
Forever, yeah.
So eventually she was working the fields in Cali, and she received amnesty through Reagan. Between 86 and 88, she received amnesty. It's a cool story too, the way she received amnesty, because at that point they were giving all the field workers amnesty, like they were legalizing the field workers. And I remember when she went to her interview, she tells me this story all the time. She went to her interview to get her paperwork to become legal in this country, and then the immigration officer tried to test her. He goes, hey, so you work in the fields? And she's like, yeah, I'm in the strawberry fields. She's like, oh, really? So what size of ladder do you need, and how many steps do you have to climb on that ladder to get the strawberries? And my mom's like, it was like a trick question. My mom's like, what? Like, you don't need a ladder to pick strawberries. They're on the floor. See? And then he was like, okay, you pass.
No way. Gotcha. Yeah.
So this is the kind of tactics that were being used, because, I mean, I understand, as soon as every Mexican in California heard that they're legalizing Mexicans in the fields, well, guess what, right? All the hotel people, the construction people, they're all trying to get their legalization. Oh, I'm a field worker. Yeah. And they were like, no, dude, you're not. You know what I mean?
So how is that for you at 5?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. When my mom comes over, when she asked my grandparents, can you watch my kids? One of the toughest questions that my mom has ever been asked, and she's literally cried in front of me several times when my grandmother asked her, like, hey, do you know when you're coming back? Like, is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it 6 months? And my mom's answer was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So can you imagine, bro? This was like in the late 80s. And then it's like, you don't know, like, you don't know when you're going to like see your kids again. You know what I mean? I think it was around 88. And then, my mom finally, after a couple years of grinding it out in Cali.
Your mom is, bro.
She is, bro. Honestly, I learned everything from her, man. I got my mindset.
Where's she at right now?
She's retired. I retired her in 2017. Like, it paid off. I was her retirement plan, So, awesome, I retired my wife, October of 2016. And then I retired my mother in March of 2017.
How fulfilling is that for you, man?
Honestly, bro, I always tell people this. I said the two biggest financial milestones that I've ever achieved is retiring my wife and retiring my mom. Yep. It's not, the Rolls Royce Wraith dream car that I bought in, 2018, or, the acre, house in a private, 10 house community, with, a gated community. None of that even matters. The fact that I gave my wife the ability to raise our children full time, and the fact that I gave my mom the ability to live out her golden years in peace and not have to stress about money, like, to me is alone, right? Like, here's the 3 things for me. Like, if I were to die tomorrow, bro, these are the 3 things that I would take with me. Number 1, the most important thing to me is I set an example for my daughters every single day. That to me is everything. I set an example in the house, outside of the house, absolutely. Right? I set an example every single day, every single moment, right? And then retiring my wife and retiring my mother, right? To me, those 3 things are plenty for me to be like, man, those are some milestones for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to wrap up the story, my mom did come back for us and brought us over to California.
How old were you at that point? Do you remember?
I was entering the 2nd grade, so whatever
so
that is, about 7 maybe.
So it took you a couple years?
Yeah. So, the first time she brought us over was through Tijuana.
And are you guys communicating when she's up there? Not really, huh?
No. So the way that we would communicate is there was a house across the street right? There was a house across the street, and
They had a phone or something?
this dude had access to. I'm like, damn, we don't have water, we don't have electricity, and this dude across
Had it all?
he didn't have it all, but he had a brick home. We had a shed.
Yeah.
His name was Guero.
Guero,
White boy, because he used to be very light skinned. And I'm like, this dude has a
Fun fact, not many people know how to spell Wedo.
Guero, Guero,
yeah.
right?
No one knows that.
It's like I don't
I used to
understand
spell
it.
W-E-D-O in prison.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I don't understand how this dude across the street has a brick home and has a landline when we don't even have electricity and running water. You know what I mean? So
Shot caller.
So yeah, exactly. He pretty much he was the leader of the neighborhood for sure, because he used to take all the kids like fishing and stuff like that. So anyway, so my mom would communicate weekly or bi-weekly, through there. And she used to say, hey, I'm going to call you guys at 5 p.m. Friday. You know what I mean? So at first it started with letters. And then once he got a landline, then it started with phone calls on Fridays around 5 o'clock. So anyway, man, we crossed over through San Isidro, which was TJ.
Real quick, sorry. What's your feeling when your mom comes back and you know you're going to America?
Hope. And forget that. I'll give you the feeling
Like,
that
seriously, what are they, because you don't know shit, so what are they telling you about America? What do you think about America? And like, what's your feeling when your mom
everything.
comes back?
I'm believing everything that I'm being told
You're
about
like,
America.
I'm
I'm believing that it's the land of milk and honey.
Okay.
I'm believing that it's beautiful. Like there's no poverty, right? And I'm believing that there's green grass instead of dirt roads, right? Because it's funny, we used to play down the street and there was a soccer field, but it was all dirt and rocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll tell you, funny enough, the first thing.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, one of the first things I did when we actually finally came over, she brought us over illegally the first time, right? So she was living in some apartments in Escondido, California, and I remember, just again being 7 years old, and I remember just like looking at buildings and apartments, and now there's running water and there's electricity and there's stores and there's food, and what I did as soon as I got out the car, I was just like blown away by the green grass at the apartments. I had never seen such beautiful grass in my life. And I went over there and I sat and I rolled around in it as a 7-year-old kid. You know what I mean?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, I was like, this America is everything that everybody used to say it was. And it has been for me ever since,
Yeah.
So again, bro, that was the first time. We didn't last too long in Cali. It was expensive.
Yeah.
And we had to go back. Like my mom, me, my brother.
Oh, how bad was that?
Excuse me. I mean, we were devastated. We were devastated. We were devastated.
How old were
but
you when you had to go back? About the same age?
I was entering So I believe I just completed the third grade.
Okay.
So again, we lasted under 2 years, and then for us to have to go back, we're devastated, bro. Like I remember her friends in a little Nissan pickup giving us a ride back to the border for our aunt to pick us up, and I remember I'm crying in the back seat. And my mom's in the front, so he's driving. His name was Jaime.
I can't, dude. Now that I have kids, I just can't imagine that, dude.
I mean, you've been remember I told you, I'm like, bro, you've been through some shit, and I've been through my own battles, right? So I remember Jaime driving, my mom on the passenger side. I'm crying my butt off in the back seat because my dreams are shattered, and then everything changed in this one instance as we're driving back to the border. And she just hears me crying, and she just hears me crying. I'm not crying loud or nothing like that. She knows I'm just devastated. I'm the oldest, right? And
how many siblings do you have?
Well, I have a brother who was murdered in Mexico in 2020, January 9, 2020. And then I have a half sister through my mom and someone that she met in California. Okay. So anyway, she's hearing me back there just weep, and she turns around and she says, "Hey," and she's like, "Don't worry about it. Stop crying." She's like, We'll make it back. We'll be back. So I thought, as soon as she said that, I'm like, okay. I thought she meant like we'll make it back to Cali, because at that point I loved California, as a kid.
Yeah.
And I love the hills, I love the grass, I love the weather, I love the ocean, right? And I didn't know anything about politics back then, so it's like whatever.
For sure.
I still love everything I mentioned except the political side of Cali, right? So anyway, we go back to my grandma, right? We go back to my grandma's house, man. And, again, now she's, like I told you, she's cleaning, hotel rooms in San Carlos. And, I got to be the breadwinner now, man. I got I got to figure out a way to contribute, you know, in the third grade.
No
you know?
way.
Yeah, man. So I have this picture of myself as a grocery bagger, right? I did that for a couple years. So I remember, I don't even know how I found it, but it was in my pictures from Mexico. And I'm like, oh, look. So I had me at 10 years old bagging groceries at, it was called La Ley, which is a big, it's like a Walmart, you know? So that specific chain of stores used to hire like little bagger boys, you know, like that's how they used to like, you know, give kids the opportunity. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, we'll let the kids try to, you know, because it's better, you know, you don't want, like at that point, that was a normal thing. The kids used to bag the groceries, you know what I mean? And then the adults used to be the cashiers, right? So anyway, I'm seeing this poverty, man. I'm seeing like, you know, we're just dirt poor, bro. Like we're living day to day. My mom's making, like I said, $10, $12 a week. So I just felt it in my heart. You know, I knew a little bit of English, and I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna find a job. And she didn't know like how I was gonna find a job, right?
Yeah.
So I got a job at La Ley as a grocery bagger, and this store happened to be literally about 20 minutes away from where she was cleaning hotel rooms. So this store was the closest retail location by the resort. So all the white people used to come to this store to buy groceries and, you know, buy clothes or bikes, whatever they needed, because, you know, it was very underdeveloped at this point, you know. The year was 94 now. Right. And I'm bagging groceries, and, you know, there are a lot of white people coming in, and, you know, I speak enough English to have a little bit of conversation. I was already in the service industry at 10 years old, right? So I'm speaking English, and, you know, I bag all the groceries, you know, very nicely, you know, double bag the milk, you know, put the bread and eggs separately, you know what I mean? And I'll take it out to their car, you know, stack it nice and neat in their trunk, and then ask for my tip. And I'm making dollars now. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting paid in dollars, bro. I'm making, you know, I'm making $10, $12 a day. My mom's making $10, $12 a week. Jeez. So I became the main breadwinner of my household at a very, very young age. You know what I mean? So, so here we go again. You know, we do that for a while. And my mom always tells me this story. She goes, son, if it wasn't for you working and making the money you were making, two things wouldn't have happened. One, we wouldn't have survived. I don't know how we would have survived. And two, I would not have been able to save enough money to do a second attempt. Now she comes to Phoenix. You know what I mean? We save up enough money. She comes to Phoenix. She's working the fields here. She's working the fields in 120 degrees in Arizona. As a woman. You know what I mean? She's wearing the big old landscaping thing. Yep. She's wetting the hell out of her, you know, her bandana. She's wetting, you know, the back of her neck with the bandana. She's out there grinding, man. And then she, you know, saves enough money. And now she brings me first, doesn't bring me and my brother. And at this point now I have a sister. So it's like brings me over first. And then, you know.
Was that hard splitting up from your brother?
What was that?
Was that hard splitting up from your brother?
Yeah, of course. Of course. He spent a little bit more time down in Mexico before.
I think about all that shit now that I have kids, because I know
exactly.
How much anything
of course,
kids,
because that was that was the first time I was ever separated from my brother. You know what I mean? We did everything together. We had each other's back, you know. So we were poor together, you know, we cried together, we endured together, we overcame together, you know. So it was tough as a kid to be split from my, you know, my road dog,
dude,
you know,
your dude,
right? My dude. So anyway, but I knew at this point I'm old enough to know, you know, because I'm about to enter the 7th grade now. So I know, you know, I'm old enough now to understand, you know what I mean? What's at stake and what's going on. So the second time, bro, and I know we spent a lot of time on this, but I feel like it's important.
No,
you know, because it's also against all odds, 100%. Right? You know, in my own way.
I was literally just thinking, I'm like, damn, I thought I had a tough life to get to where I got to right now. It's like, holy shit, bro.
So watch this. The second time where she just brings me over, she pays a coyote $25. $25. This was 1996. $25. And somebody that her cousin knew, and he was like, yeah, $25, I'll get him over. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Now it's like $2,500, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, inflation, right? So, right. So, pays this coyote $25. He gets me through a hole in the fence in Nogales, Sonora. We meet her in Nogales, Arizona at the McDonald's, and then we drive up to Phoenix. And that was the second, the second attempt at
What made you guys choose Phoenix? Just because you knew it's cheaper to live?
That's it. That's exactly what she said. She said that she has friends in Phoenix, and they were people that moved from California to Phoenix, and they told her that it was much more affordable. Because she told them, hey, we failed in Cali because it was too expensive for a single mom, right? And she's like, I need to go somewhere where, we can afford it. And then that's when she chose Phoenix as her friends were here. So anyway, that was the second attempt, bro. And, I saw my mom do it all.
What did she do for work out here when she was in Phoenix?
She was, she always had several jobs.
And I show this to show people, like, anybody can go do whatever the hell they want, man. Like, seriously, dude, this is...
My mom, when I got here, was working 2 jobs and a side hustle. So she was working at the airport, a company called LSG Sky Chefs, where she's like, actually, she was the dishwasher for LSG Sky Chefs. So LSG Sky Chefs is known for packing all the food in those little carts. You'll see it. Keep an eye on next time you're flying.
For sure.
You'll see LSG Sky Chefs, these big old trucks delivering those little carts and containers where all the food is packed into. Okay. So she wasn't packing the food. She was washing the dishes inside of the airport. So anyway, she was doing that. Bro, she was doing that in the mid-90s for like $5.25 an hour. By the time she left there, she was at $8.25 an hour. So she never made more than $8.25 an hour. And then she was also working.
Raising kids.
Watch this. So she was doing that at night so that she was working the graveyard shift doing that. And she was getting up early in the morning to go and be the cafeteria lady at a school. And then she was like flipping electronics and flipping cars and flipping clothes, whatever she can get her hands on. So she was working nighttime at the airport, daytime at the school, and then the side hustle anytime.
And you're just like
all time.
And you're like a 10-year-old dad.
And I'm watching all this. I'm watching my mom grind. I'm watching my mom barely sleep. I'm watching my mom not give excuses. I'm watching my mom put food on the table, pay for rent, pay for electricity, pay for water, pay for our clothes. If we wanted a television or something, boom, Rent-A-Center, making weekly payments at Rent-A-Center, so she was Superwoman, bro. She did it all. And that's awesome. That was my example. If you're wondering, man, how did, my business partner and I over the past several years that we've been in business, I mean, we got in business in 2013. The first time him and I broke $10 million in annual revenue was 2018. So we've generated tens of millions of dollars every single year for quite some time, praise God. But think about that, bro. Like an immigrant that came here illegally, that is the son of an immigrant, that's still not a citizen. I'm a citizen, praise God. In 2012, I became a citizen. Wow. Right? But she's still not a citizen because she doesn't speak English. It's tough to become a citizen if you don't speak English because the test is in English. I heard that they might be doing it in Spanish now. I don't know. I got to check that. I would love for her to become a citizen, right? But you're talking to a dude, like I said, that comes from nothing, dirt poverty. Mom never made more than $8.25 an hour, has been able to generate tens of millions of dollars in his career in business. And now, we have an organization that is a private equity company that owns medical, that has owned solar in the past. We shut that down in January of this year. Owns real estate flipping, investing companies, right? Property. I sold 2 flips today.
That's sick.
I got over $100,000 coming back to the business just from the 2 flips I sold today. So imagine, bro, I'm doing all these things, right? Like, what a blessing. We have a BPO company. It's a business processing outsourcing company that started in Mexico, in Hermosillo, where I was born, and then it expanded to Nicaragua and Egypt that has close to 500 employees. You know what I mean? So we have all these businesses. We're in the private equity space. We're constantly looking at businesses to buy, to acquire equity in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now we're building communities. Like I've built a real estate community in the past. Guys like Ryan Pineda, Pace Morby, Austin Rutherford, Tiffany and Josh, High, they've all come through our teachings over the years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we started teaching people how to build a multiple 7-figure real estate company in 2018. So that was 7 years ago. We started ask Ryan Pineda how he learned how to wholesale. You know what I mean?
Let's
That's
back
my
this
boy,
up
by
then.
the
So
way.
how did you
He was
get to
over,
there?
by the way, full disclosure, right? So, because I never like to take credit away from people in their own right. Ryan Pineda, I was selling him deals. You know, he only knew how to flip properties, like, you know, buy a house, remodel it, and sell it. And then we were crushing the wholesale space at that point. So he, you know, came in, and Pace Morby, he had a franchise through Homevestors,
Pace, yeah.
and he came to our boot camp and learned the wholesale side, and then sold his Homevestors franchise. He's like, dude, after learning this from you, I don't even need this franchise. You know what I mean? So I think he sold that for over 6 figures. But that's where bro, we didn't create a name for ourselves making the millions of dollars and the, you know, all these transactions and real estate and launching all these businesses, software businesses. We have several software businesses, Investor Automation, Need to Skip, ProspectX.com, right? You know, we have all these software companies too that we own, but we didn't make a name for ourselves because of the businesses that we launch and own and all the millions of dollars that we were doing every single year. We made a name for ourselves because we helped a bunch of other people build multiple 7-figure companies. Yeah. And then in 2022, we expanded our horizons and we went into the general business industry space. Now we help. I keep doing this because the thing is going up, right?
Yeah.
My freaking my collar, yeah. So in 2022, I saw Cardone him and Brandon Dawson got together because I knew Grant. I had him on my show back in July of 2019 when he was just a real estate guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know him when he was just a car guy, but I knew him when he was just starting like the real estate thing, right? And then I saw him blow up through real estate. And then I saw him expand into private equity, general businesses, Cardone Ventures, roofing, flooring, everything. HVAC, right? So in 2022, I told Sal, I'm like, yo, look what these dudes are doing. Because, bro, success leaves clues. So I'm like, Sal, you and I are operators. Like, we know how to build businesses. We know how to systemize. We know how to build up systems, processes, hiring, leadership, build out sales departments, build out, you know, every marketing type of channel you can think of. We've done it. We spent the money, right? Learning it. I'm like, dude, let's go and start, you know, getting our hands into the blue collar space like the Cardones, right? So that was 2022. And now you see what we are building now, right, through Empresarios.
I seen your building. I was there.
Which is like, it's funny because we got into that general business space and we were helping a bunch of people, you know, flooring, roofing, you know, construction, everything you can think of. And we were like, why don't we niche it down just a little more? Why don't we go from general business, blue collar, to Mexican American blue collar? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So nobody in the country right now, with the exception of like Ishmael, but Ishmael's not, what Sal and I are doing is completely different than Ishmael. Ishmael's building $1 billion company, right? And he is bringing a community along the way that is all vertically integrated into the company's building. But we're building companies, our companies, and then we're helping other people build their companies. And then we're also in the private equity space in these companies.
All right, we need to back this up a little bit. So how do you, because we kind of skipped from when you're 10 years old and you just get out here to Phoenix. Well, how did you start? Let's get into like when you're 18 or something like that. How did you start?
No.
So real quick, did you go to the high school and shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Graduate?
so North High School.
Did you graduate?
Yeah,
Cool.
02.
Okay.
So how about this? How about my first job to be able to afford uniforms for the Phoenix Prep Academy at that time? Now it's called ASU or something, right? How about my first job was in construction, and that's probably why I became a flipper, a real estate investor.
Yep.
Because, you know, I saw my mom struggling, and I'm like, man, I don't want her to. I'm trying to get these $200 Charles Barkley shoes. I can't ask my mom for that. She's getting a television from Rent-A-Center.
Yeah, literally.
I can't ask her for $200 shoes. So what do? There's a guy named Luis, and his friend, his name was Negro, because he was a dark Mexican. See, it was crazy, right? Like Mexicans, we have like nicknames. If you're too dark, we call you Negro. If you're too white, we call you Güero. You know what I mean? So Negro and Luis are they're handyman. They're not handyman. They're like, bro, they do it all. Like they do electrical, they do plumbing, they do flooring, right? They do it all when it comes to construction, right? So I'm talking to them and I'm like, hey, can I work, right? And they're like, kid, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? You know what? You don't know the trades.
Yeah,
you don't know
anything.
You don't know drywall. You don't know plumbing, electrical. I'm like, well, can you just see what I can do? All right, let us talk to the boss. We'll get back to you. They come back, and they're like, hey, talk to the boss. Good news. This was in the 90s. This was like 96, right? They're like, they said you can come over, and they'll pay you. I don't remember what it was, bro. It might have been like $60 a day or something. You gotta go around with the wheelbarrow and just clean up all the trash all day, every day, all summer.
All summer too.
I was like, let's do it. So my butt was getting up at 3-some in the morning and taking off with them. And I was at the job site with these guys at 5 a.m. And guess what, though? I got my uniforms. I got my Charles Barkleys. I got my Jordans. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm taking care of me now, and I'm pitching to help my mom with rent and everything you can think of, whatever she needed. Like, I'm already able to actually help my mom out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, right? So that's it. Like, just fast forward it. You know, it's like, well, when I got to America, I started grinding again. So if you think about it, bro, right? Let's just trace it back to just, 10 years old, right? Because I know that I took the picture of me being a grocery bagger at 10, but I know that I started before that. I know it was like at least 2 to 2.5 years before that. But you know what? We'll track it back down to the physical evidence of when I was already working somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna count this as a job, because I haven't even told you, like, when my mom left, we were selling bread door to door in the neighborhood. So, but I won't even count that. I'm gonna count this, me working in the real world at 10 years old in 1994. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
That's what?
30 years.
31 years. So people, I've been grinding for 31 years. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How old are you? 24. How many years have you been grinding for? You see what I'm saying? I've been grinding. It's like it didn't happen over.
I've been grinding for 9 years only.
See what? And you already like, it's been an eternity, right?
Yeah,
Building what you're building.
Yeah, shit.
Imagine you've been grinding for 31 years.
Does your back hurt?
No, because I got smart.
Yeah.
I got really creative.
So when did you catch a break? Because let's go after this wheelbarrow thing. Because I want people like, dude, it's
2013.
inspiring as shit to see how
2013.
successful you are from that.
Yep. I caught a break in 2013.
What was
bro.
the
I read a
break?
book just like this book right here. I don't know how much your book is, but in 2013, actually in 2012, right, I bought this book, and it was 2013. We'll just say 2013. The book was called Flip by Nick Ruiz.
Okay.
Flip by Nick Ruiz. And it said, the first chapter said, you want to become a real estate entrepreneur that can make millions of dollars with no license, no money, and no credit? I was like, check.
You're like, yeah,
check.
that's me.
I was like, what do I got to do?
Yeah.
Go put out bandit signs that say, I'll buy your house cash, and put a Google number on there. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, the book's telling me what to do. Put out 100 bandit signs every single weekend. And I did that. I put out bandit signs for, it was about 6 months. It was like 2,400 bandit signs. And I finally landed one deal from this Mexican lady who was a tired landlord. She's like, I don't want to deal with the renters. Bro, I didn't know how to comp a property. This was 2013.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to comp a property. I didn't know how to make an offer. I didn't know where to get a contract from. I don't know nothing.
So
I just knew how to talk to
33
people.
back then?
Huh?
And you were like 33-ish at that time?
2013? I mean, I'm 41 now, so I don't know. What is that?
You're 41?
Yeah. So
2013, so you're 35, yeah.
No. I was early 30s, right? I mean, let's do the math. It's 2025. That's 12 years ago. So 12 years ago,
29.
41, yeah, 29, 30, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're 30 years old and you didn't even know what the fuck you were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like, and you still could figure it
Nope.
out. Yeah.
No,
You're
and
that
guess
late
what
in
happens,
life.
bro? Ready? 2013, I get my first deal. You want to know how much money I made on that deal? $5,000.
I was going to say $5,000.
$5,000.
That was going to be my guess.
Look at this, bro. Watch this. If I go, you'll love this. All right. 2013, I started in this business, right?
Yep.
Okay, 2013. Let me go to 2018. Watch this, bro. 2019, I'm already balling.
Rolls Royce, yeah.
I'm chartering jets. You know, I got the Louis, I got the red bottoms, I got the Rolls Royce, you know what I mean? Like, but watch this. Watch this. In 2018, right there. Look at that. 2018, I bought, it took me 5 years to be able to buy a Rolls Royce Wraith. That's how fast this thing took off. Think about it, bro.
Yeah.
5
Think
years.
about that
5 years, I'm buying a
trash.
$250,000 car.
Yeah.
Boom. 70, actually it was, I think it might have been 70K down. It might have been more. I don't remember. I got to check, right? But my payment was like $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine, bro, like for 5 years, I go hard. Remember, 2013, I get the $5,000 check. 2018, I'm buying a $250,000 car. Think about that for a second.
You felt rich after you got that $5,000 check, huh?
Bro, I'm like, if I can do this once, I can do this 1,000 times.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's what, bro, first and foremost, man, I'll tell you this. If nothing ever worked out for me, I can always praise God with the skill set that I have, the experience that I have, the wisdom that I have. I'll always crush it in real estate. I'll always crush it. Like I can always just like, you know how some people have their basics?
Yeah.
Like, go back to the basics, man. Rebuild yourself, right?
Yep.
Mine will always be real estate arbitrage.
Yeah.
So, and here's what I want to tell everybody out there that's watching and listening, man. You don't. I'm the epitome that you don't need to come from a rich home. You don't even need to know English. You don't even need to be born here. You don't even need a college education. You don't even need money.
You don't even need to grow up in a
You don't even need a
house with
network.
floors. Yeah. Like,
You know?
seriously.
You need, brother, you need vision. You need grit, right? You need hustle. You need creativity. And
God.
And you need to be creative and you need to be resourceful. That's it. Like those 5 things, you don't need money for those 5 things.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, bro, like that's the reason why I've been able to do what I've been able to do over the past, 12 years.
That's incredible. Another thing too is, so I just talked about this on my last show I did, but it's like, people get successful, they start burning money on stupid shit, just like you bought the Rolls Royce.
I did.
And then clearly now you got kids in your family, man, but you don't drive a Rolls Royce, but clearly you could afford one. So then how much of the period is there of you just like balling out, spending money on shit? And then how long does it take you to realize, holy shit, I'm just throwing money away? Because I had that whole thing for a few years too. I just threw money away every month, just buying the dumbest stuff on earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I started buying, I went to Peter Marco. I have a video on YouTube. I went to Peter Marco and dropped, bro, I bought a 330 gram white golds, diamond out, Cuban, at Beverly Hills, Peter Marco, the Beverly Hills jeweler. I bought a watch from him that he was trying to sell me for 70. I got him down a little bit, but I bought this stuff cash.
Yeah.
I dropped over 6 figures that day. Cash. By the way, I was going to pay him in cash. And you know what he told me? Peter Marco taught me a great lesson. Peter Marco goes, hey, brother. He goes, I can see you're going to be a client for a long time. By the way, I bought that from Peter Marco.
Sick.
In my wedding ring, right?
Nice ring.
He goes, let me give you some advice. Because I was like, I was going to the bank. I was going to show up with 10 bands of cash.
Yeah.
He goes, he took me to the side and we were filming. I have it. It's on YouTube, right? I just sent you pictures. Check it out. Right. That's how I started. Check out the picture I just sent you. So I'm in the store and we're filming and everything. And he goes, do you see it?
Yeah. Damn.
That's a 2008 Nissan Rogue with 150 bandit signs.
There's your signs. Wow.
That's how I started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy, right? So praise God. So anyway, so watch this, bro. He's like, hey, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Pulls me to the side. Shout out to Peter Marco. I love him for this, and I always will. He goes, hey, brother. I said, I want you to be a client for a long time. He's like, do me a favor. He's like, don't bring me cash. Go get some what do you call those? Not money orders, cashier's checks.
Cashier's check.
He's like, go get some cashier's checks. He's like, I want you to be around for a long time. I want you to be a client for a long time. When you start bringing cash like these wrappers, he's like, red flags. He's like, I'd be surprised if somebody isn't watching my store right now outside of my store. He's like, I want you around for a long time. Go get some cashier's check. Show people you're legit. He's like, you don't have to do what these people do, the drug dealers and the rappers. Yeah. You don't have to do that. Go get some cashier's checks.
You might get ran up on.
And there was a chase right around the corner.
Yeah.
Went over there, got some cashier's checks, came back, bought my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shout out to Peter Marco, man, because like anytime that I've ever ran into an issue, like if a diamond falls out, bro, this dude was like, yeah, send it over. I got you. Boom, done. To this day.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean? I bought this almost 10 years ago, right? Yeah. So again, man, you know, life's been a dream.
And now how many kids do you have now?
2.
Okay, I'm all about this now, and like you seem like a great dad, good with the wife. Yep. I always talk about that. Like I hate people that like can't resist temptations and they cheat on their wives and they're not good parents, and like especially being a dad. There's so many dads that are not active and actively involved. And like, how active are you with your kids, and how much of a blessing is that, bro? Because
let's talk about Mexican Americans. We are ethnically we have the second highest divorce rate in America, Mexican Americans. I believe a lot of that comes from bad programming.
Yeah.
You know, seeing our dads. Like I told you, my dad used to come in, coked out, drunk. Where is he? Guess what? Bro, my dad was out cheating.
Yeah, for sure.
My dad, rest in peace, and I will always love him no matter what. You know, we try to make amends later down the road. Yeah. You know, when my daughter was born in 2012. It was like 17 years absent. You know what I mean? But anyway, we try to make amends, and when he died, you know, we were on good terms. We were on good terms. But it wasn't like, you know, best friends. It was just like good terms.
You're just
right?
okay with each other.
We're okay, right? But anyway, so my dad was such a cheater that he brought back a disease and gave it to my mom. He gave her gonorrhea. And then now my mom, like, think about it, bro. Like, my mom was a virgin, you know, when you know, when she married him.
Wow.
My mom got married young, 25 years old, you know, virgin. Like, you know, I'm a 3rd generation Christian. Yeah. That's why I wear this to represent. And this holds me to a higher standard.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm not just going to sit here. I don't go, when do you ever hear me like, oh, God, this, I'm never shielding myself beside. No, bro, I'm not shielding myself with God, right? I'm on the front end. I'm representing God. So I have to hold myself to a high standard. You know what I mean? Sure. In everything, in every area, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so imagine, bro, like you're this, like, she's a 2nd generation Christian. You know, her father was an evangelist going around in northern Sonora talking to the Yaqui tribes and converting them from, you know, being like Native Americans and believing in idolatry and things like that, and converting them over to Christ and things like that. So my mom grew up in a very, very strict household.
Yeah.
And then now she has gonorrhea because this dude's disgusting. So it's much bigger than what people think. You know, this like, you know, stepping out on your wife. Yeah, bro, like, you can get away with it once, twice, maybe 100 times.
Yeah.
But all things come to light.
And then that one time you ruin your kids' lives.
So what would happen if I stepped outside on my wife? I got a 13-year-old daughter. I got a 7-year-old daughter. You know what I mean?
Thing you could do, yeah.
And then I come back, and now, you know, I give my wife, like, she doesn't even know I've been stepping out on her. I come back, and I give her syphilis or gonorrhea or something even worse, herpes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not curable. What would happen? First of all, how badly would I hurt my wife?
Oh my gosh.
And how badly would I wreck my 2 daughters?
You could
and what kind of example is it worth? Like, was it worth it? You know, I don't know about you, but was it worth the 10 minutes?
So I was gonna say 30 seconds. Usually when it's new in your life, 10 seconds. Anyways,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And here's the other. All the guys that cheat now, anyways, they're desperate ass losers anyways. They're going to literally come in 4 seconds. So like you ruin your kid's life for 4 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like seriously, think about that. Because like that's when my life started spiraling was when my parents got divorced. You know, because then I went and lived with my single mother. And I was running the streets, bro.
We need structure. Like children need a healthy home, bro. A peaceful home,
and present
a joyful
dads
home,
more than anything.
Present mom, present dad. You know, bro, you can ask my wife. I got on her about, I didn't disrespect her. I don't disrespect, especially in front of my daughters, right?
Yeah.
We were eating, having dinner. My wife made some food, and my little 7-year-old asked for food for something else. And I think that upset my wife. And then my wife said something to her, and I immediately jumped to her defense. She said, "You just ate 2.5 hours ago." She's like, "You're gonna get fat." And then my daughter, you can see my daughter's demeanor just drop, my 7-year-old. And she's like, "Why are you saying that?" And she starts banging her head on the table. And I told my wife, I said, "Babe," I said, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't say those type of things. You know, I schooled her.
For sure.
I said, "Babe, if you're telling our 7-year-old daughter, if you're giving her the F word, the fat, you're gonna be fat, especially as a little girl.
Yeah.
Don't be upset if someone at school calls her fat and she comes home to you, you call her fat. She's gonna think it's okay for someone to call her fat."
Good point.
You know what I mean? So again, that's the kind of household we run. Like we run a very conscious, healthy, peaceful, joyful household. That's what we run. And honestly, bro, that's the best thing that my wife have ever built.
Yeah.
I built these companies and I've helped build people. Our household is the best thing we've ever built.
What do you want to do next? Like, what are your goals?
You know, bro, I don't know if you saw, I did a haircut drive, a back to school drive. I think it was like 2 Sundays ago. I gave, we served over 100 families, free haircuts.
Oh.
Excuse me. The energy drink is making me burp, right? So, brother, I was running around buying backpacks at Target, Walmart, stuffing them with crayons, paper, pencils, right? Notebooks. We were able to serve over 100 families, right? And I do a lot of that. People don't know what I do behind the scenes, but I do a lot of that. So I want to make a stupid amount of money so that I can do more of that.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Dude, I always say, like, how in the hell do people that have money not want to help people? Like, seriously, that's like, because money doesn't make you happy. Clearly, I want a lot more money, but like, I want more money so I have more freedom just to help more people. Like, that's just seriously it. Like, my family will always be taken care of. We'll always live good. But like, I legit just want to make more money so I can have more freedom and have more abilities to help more people, bro. Like, that's what the world's about. You know what I'm saying?
I'll show you something. I like one thing you'll notice about me, bro, is anytime, and you can ask my man Will, he spent a good amount of time with me now this entire year. If I say something, I can back it up with receipts.
Yep. Right?
I just sent you a picture. That's me working as a little boy. I just sent you the picture. Look at the road on that, bro. That's the house that I grew up in. You see those?
Yeah, damn.
Right? Isn't that crazy, bro?
Unbelievable.
Right? Like I like to bring receipts, you know, because guess what, bro? The world we live in now, brother, it's full of shit.
You can see those walls are just wood.
It's plywood.
Yeah.
The first time, this was 2021, this was the first time I ever put this much together in savings. Watch this.
NA94.
Check that out. That was the first time I ever put that much together in my own savings account, like my own cash account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the first time that, you know, because remember, we started making a good amount of money in 2018.
Yeah.
2019 was the first year, I believe, that like Sal and myself, we each paid ourselves, you know, 7 figures. And that's already making sure that the businesses are taken care of, reserves.
All the employees.
We have reserves, we have tax, you know, we have all that taken care of. And like I said, man, I just want to continue to, you know, there's so many things, bro. Like, I think for me, brother, at this age, for the rest of my life, it's about legacy.
Yep.
That's it. It's no longer about getting rich. It's about legacy.
Yep.
It's about making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, helping, you know, serving a lot of people.
Yeah.
but helping a lot of people build their companies. You want to know some? You want to know some cool things that we're doing?
Yeah.
With some of our community members. Watch this. You ready? So, we're helping people in our community make a lot of money in their businesses by helping them with structure and systemization and scaling. What happens after we help them make a lot of money? 2-3 months down the road, they want to flip houses with us. So we're already flipping. You know, when I started this community, I started it for the 4 following reasons: personal development, business development, financial literacy, and deep relationships. That's when we started this community, the empresarios community, right? You can ask my man Will. I've met some of the people in my community. I've met them at their houses. You know, like I'm helping people flip houses now, and they're making 30 to 50% cash on cash return on the deals. Now they're putting their money to work. That's the financial literacy part. That's the legacy part for me too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that's why I say, I'll always have money, but like I want to, like I said, build a legacy and for my kids and stuff like that, and like make sure they were raised nothing how I was.
I'm at that point in my life, brother, where every single day is about legacy for me now. Every day.
I love it, dude.
Every day.
I just like speechless. You know, it's a good podcast. I haven't even said shit, bro. Like the only other one I can compare to this seriously was like Josh Snow, bro. Like I was just like, holy
that
shit,
dude is
no
smart
way.
as shit.
Yeah, shout out to Josh Snow, who's literally the man.
I'm not gonna tell you, bro, that I'm not gonna sit here. That dude's way smarter than me.
Oh, he's the smartest dude I've ever had on my show.
I love that dude, and he comes from West Phoenix too, Mexican background, and
he's
one of the smartest. Yeah, shout out to him, man. He's a brother, and I got love and respect for him. And that dude's like a genius, right?
He's one of the guys you talk to for like literally a minute, and you're like, this dude just has a different brain than the rest of the people like that. You know, I'm like, holy shit, he's nothing like me.
I just know how to get it done.
Yeah, but here's the deal with the world now, like. You don't need to be Josh Snow. You just got to have his phone number.
Damn genius.
You got to just have his phone number. You know what I'm saying? Your network can do anything in the world for you. Like I'm just a street smart guy, bro. I don't know shit, bro.
But that's your zone of genius.
Josh Snow, I got everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Your zone of genius is the way you were molded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all have our zone of genius, right? People like him and people like my business partner Sal. Sal's a genius. He's an integrative engineer.
I feel like any
genius.
dudes with the name Sal are just ballers, bro. Like straight up. Shout out to Sal Fasella too.
Yes. Yeah, that dude is smart. Like he can build you out a funnel that would take somebody 3 weeks. He can do it in 3 hours.
Sick.
Like so that's another thing that we pride ourselves in our organization is we like to take an idea, right, into real time. We like to take an idea into creation, right? In real time. We move fast.
Yeah, have to.
We move really fast. And that's something that has been helping us for many, many years is we don't, oh yeah, deadline's 2 weeks from now. No. Hey, can we do this right now? You know what I mean? So that's something that we do very, very, very actively now in our company. And that's made the world of difference when it comes to moving forward in our company.
Dude, I love it, man. You are an absolute stud, bro. Like,
thanks,
seriously,
bro.
You dropped some gems and just game for people today.
Thank you, brother.
If you're listening to this, bro, and you think that you got it bad and can't figure it the hell out, you have no reason in the world not to do what you think you can do after this. Like, seriously, I thought I came from some shit getting to where I came from. It's just impressive and remarkable.
You have your own story, bro, and that's why I connect with you. You know.
Last bit of game. Give me a little message or something for dudes in prison right now, just to give them a little inspiration. Guys sitting in themselves for something to think about or anything to apply to their lives.
You know, bro, I think everybody in prison because, you know, my brother has been in prison. My mom has been in jail. You know what I mean? I've had some,
Your mom been through some shit,
my
bro.
mom's a G,
now.
bro. She's a real top G.
Yeah.
Right. My mom's the real top G,
right?
right?
Triple OGs.
She's a triple OG, right? She probably ran her little block when she was in jail. No, I'm just, but no, honestly, brother, for especially every person, you know, every person, every prisoner that's down in their luck, here's what you need to focus on, man. You know, number one, you got to start rewiring your mindset. You know that.
I love when you talk about this.
You know that. Because our upbringing, our environment, the way we were molded, it's not even yours. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? It was a teacher, it was a dad, it was a mom, it was an uncle, it was a coach, it was somebody you saw It was your friends, right? Like the programming you have, most of it, if you start asking yourself, why do I do what I do? Oh, because I saw my dad do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's not even yours, and you don't have much control of that.
Yeah.
Your subconscious programming came from other people, but you have the power to deprogram and reprogram. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By reading a book like this or reading a book like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. That book changed my life. You know what I mean? Read this book, read that book. Start changing your mindset.
Yep.
Change your mindset, change your world. And here's the second thing that I want to tell everybody out there. There was a study done by a doctor named Dave McClellan out of University in California. And he ran this experiment or study for over a quarter century. It was like 25 years. And he was studying just like Napoleon Hill supposedly did back in the day when, he was writing Think and Grow Rich, and he studied all the gazillionaires in the, during his time. He's like, what makes them tick? Right? What makes them tick? What makes these people who they are? Well, this doctor, Dave McClellan, he's like, what makes people successful? That's the question. That's the study, right? What makes them successful? What makes them successful? Is it the school they come from? Is it the environment they were born in? Is it the parents? Right? What is it? Well, after 25 years, over and over and over, he kept getting the same answer. And he called it the 99% factor, which is your reference group. The people you are around consistently. So any prisoner out there, change your mind, change your circle, change your future.
That's fire.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's simple, brother. We don't have to, I got to read this book. I got to build that business. I got to, no, brother. Change your mind, change your circle, change your future.
When you change your circle, you're going to see all these opportunities in so many other ways.
Look at your circle now.
My circle's a joke.
The dude that, wait, what?
I said my circle's a joke. It's almost comical, bro. Like,
wait, your circle right now?
In a good way. I mean, it's like
great.
a joke that I can have a circle like
this. I just met the guy that owns this place.
Shout out to Harrison, bro.
The dude showed up in a Bentley Continental GT or something, and then the dude has a freaking oxygen hyperbaric chamber, and a red light sauna.
Go look up Harrison Rogers in the United Fight League, and he's the greatest human being.
You see how humble that dude was? Such a humble guy, bro. For you to be able to be like, hey, brother, I'm having a problem right now. Or for you to call me, hey, bro, my marketing isn't where it needs to be.
Yep.
I'm trying to build my business. I'm trying to scale my business to, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. Hey, bro, what do you think? Where do you think I should start? That's right there, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's why they say, oh, your network is your net worth. Change your circle.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, read another book called Who, Not How. Who, Not How. That's something I've always been really good at. I know how to find the who that will give me the how.
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I don't, bro, ask Sal, hey, bro, we need somebody to do this. All right, give me a second. Hey, brother, we need you to do this. Can you do that? Yeah, okay. All right, Sal, done.
Done.
You see me do that, Will? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
last one here. Go follow my man, Carlos Reyes. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to probably have to do a follow-up in another year or something like that, bro.
Let's do it, bro.
I'm a fan of yours. I just really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show. Have an awesome day. Thanks again, bro.
Absolutely.